Well, hello there, and welcome to Third Power Life Podcast. I'm Dan Gentry, and I am very excited to be with you today. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about continuous improvement, right? And continuous learning. One of my mentors um, used to tell me all the time that, if you're not learning, if you're not moving forward, if you're not improving, you are slowly fading, right? And there have been a number of books that have been written about this general subject. I know there was The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, I think. Um, and I talk about it in my programs with that you're as you move through life, you are either moving in a positive direction or a negative direction. There is no just status quo, right? You can't just maintain. There's a natural entropy to life. Entropy, one of my favorite laws of thermodynamics, that essentially any ordered system slowly moves to chaos, right? So if you're not working out, if you're not spending energy, so the whole idea of entropy is if you're not spending energy maintaining order in a system, it will move to chaos, right? So if you're not working out, if you're not going to the gym, if you're not doing something, putting energy in to maintain your body slowly becomes like this. Right? Your body slowly moves to chaos. If your relationship, if you're not putting energy into your relationship, if you're not taking care of your significant other, if you're not doing that, then it's moving to chaos, whether you like it or not. And been there, done that, right? If your spiritual life, if you're not spending time meditating, praying, doing things to help your spiritual life, your spirit will move to chaos. It's a natural law. It's a law of the universe, right? In physics, if you take like a hot cannonball and set it in a room, if you're not applying heat, applying energy to that, it will eventually the heat will dissipate throughout the room and the cannonball is no longer hot, and that energy is, for all intents and purposes, lost, right? It's not destroyed, right? Because that's the other, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only change from one form to another, right? The energy is not gone. It's just, for all intents and purposes, it's lost, right? And so that's what happens to our minds if we are not continuously educating ourselves, right? Just because you read a book once 20 years ago is not enough, right? You may still remember some of it, but most of it's gone. We have to constantly be refilling our lives and reapplying that energy, reapplying that knowledge, right? It's why, so many religious uh, systems talk about, read your Bible every day, right? Read your holy books every day. And that's why you'll see I've got this huge shelf back here full of self-improvement things, of books, right? Because yes, I know how to set goals, and yes, I know how to keep myself motivated, and yes, I know how to find your purpose, right? And yet I still every day will be reading something from this shelf, right? I've got my little shelf over here where it's my my daily stoic that I read every day. Right now I'm rereading Outwitting the Devil, right? um, I have, in case I need it, my bullet journal method book right here, right? My essentialism book right here. So there's all of these things that I'm constantly feeding my brain, and even things that I've read before that I want to read again. You know, one of my teachers once said that the reason that they always reread the Bible was because they were a different person and that the book said something different to them each time, right? And I have found that to be true for many books. Even, I mean, even fiction, right? Not no way equating the two, but I've read the Harry Potter series like 7, 8 times, right? And each time I read it, it's a little bit different story because my experiences have changed. The time I read it 10, 15 years ago, whenever it was, is very different from reading it now, right? And so that's true. This the Daily Stoic, right? It's 365, 366 because for leap year meditations about Stoic philosophy. I've had this book for like 4 years, 5 years. So I've gone through it a couple of times. And and yet, because one of the things that I like to do is highlight. So you'll see like in today's reading, I've highlighted some sections here, and but I try to only highlight things that really hit me. And there are times where I highlight different stuff now than the first time I read it, or the second time, or the third time, right? And so we have to constantly be on this journey of continuous education, of continuous learning, of continuous improvement. I think Tony Robbins calls it CANI, constant and never ending improvement, right? It's We have to be growing. We have to constantly be feeding, be fertilizing our minds, be tending the garden of our minds. I want to do an entire podcast and session on gardening. I've got a garden in my backyard, and the lessons that gardening teaches you about self improvement is amazing. Um, and so my message today is really pretty simple. It's be looking for how can you be constantly growing, constantly improving, constantly learning, right? And it doesn't have to be the same stuff over and over again. It doesn't have to be necessarily self improvement or religious texts or anything, but how can you be growing? Maybe it's learning AI, right? And it's technology that's new and exciting. Maybe it's um, some simple thing like doing math and keeping your mind sharp and doing Sudoku. Whatever it is to keep you sharp, to keep you learning. It's things like that. Why I have my roundtable is to have a forum for constantly learning. And here I'll let you in a little secret. Right? Part of the reason why I created the roundtable and created this community where I'm going in every month to give this master class on something, I have to teach it. In order to teach it, I need to relearn it and refresh it in my mind, right? So it's not just for teaching others. I mean that's why I'm doing it, is to help the world, but it's forcing myself to look at it again and look for any new insights that I can come up with about material. Right? I've taught goal setting for 25 years, right? I think I did my first goal setting course 25, 30 years ago, right? And yet I yeah, I was going through my material setting up for the training that's coming up this weekend, and I had additional insights, little refinements that said, oh, okay, I need to share that with people, right? That's the beauty of this kind of thing. And I can't remember who it was that said it, but they said that genius is the ability to see finer and finer details, right? That you can know how the notes work on a piano, right? And that's one level, but when you really get in and you know the chords, that's another level. It's a refinement. And you can get in and get deeper and deeper and deeper into it, and that becomes your genius, is because you can see the finer, smaller details in everything. And so that's, not trying to say I'm a genius by any stretch of the imagination, right? But I've been through the material so many times that I start to see smaller and smaller details. And sometimes those details are important. And that's what I want to share with you. Okay. And that's what this, honestly, it's what this podcast is about. It's me going deeper and deeper into these topics like continuous learning, continuous improvement, that I can allow myself to get inspiration to see what's new, what's different, what's interesting. So never stop learning, my friends. Never stop improving. Keep going, keep reading, keep training. And that is how you live your life to the third power. So keep at it, and join me in the roundtable. This this weekend we're going to have the founders launch, so you want to be able to talk to me, to ask me questions, record episodes live, all the trainings that are going into the members area, we get to do together. You get to do it live with me, and I take your feedback and improve on it, and we iterate. That's what it's all about. So I'm excited to do it. Hope you're there to join me. And then let me know what you like about this episode. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. It means the world to me to be growing my channel, to be growing my message. And it really helps me to know what you like and what you want to hear. So that's it for today. I appreciate you very much. Keep going, keep learning, keep improving, and live your life to the third power. Till tomorrow, my friends. Thank you for listening to the Third Power Life podcast. Before you go, one quick question for you. Where are you on the path of life? Are you just drifting through your life? Are you fully in command, somewhere in between? Well, you can find out where you are now by taking my new Commander Survey. It will tell you where you are on your growth journey and how to move yourself to the next level. You can find the link on the screen or in the show notes. Now, all I want to know now is, where do you stand?